They say everything's bigger in Texas, including the Indians' bats, on an opening day thrilling come-from-behind win over the Rangers. Oh yeah, remember that Tribe bullpen that dominated the postseason a year ago? Well, they're back as well with a bang last night. One guy who would love to turn the page from 2016 is Carlos Carrasco. After his season was cut short by injury, he'll make his season debut next on Sports Time Ohio. The Indians-Rangers opening series is brought to you by Echo Outdoor Power Equipment. And once again tonight, we greet you from Globe Life Park in Arlington, Texas, where the Indians and the Rangers continue their three-game opening series. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. Yesterday on opening day, the Indians overcame a big 4-run deficit to rally back and beat the Rangers here in Texas. Great offense, but really good starting pitching from Corey Kluber after he gave up the early runs. And now the Indians look for a similar start from Carlos Carrasco. The question, Rick, how deep into this game do you think he can get?
Well, Carlos Carrasco has had a rough spring, but you go back to last year in September, that second pitch of the ball game, he broke his finger, missed the rest of the year, and that was dangerous. The second time he ended up going on the DL against the Tigers. But Carlos, second best pitcher on this team, no doubt, behind Corey Kluber. In his 25 starts, 11-8, but only 15 innings in spring training. He was roughed up. He wasn't as sharp as I think they wanted him to be. The slider is going to be a big deal for him tonight, and going up against the Rangers, they have roughed him up in his career. So hopefully Carlos will go out there, 85 pitches. If they can get 5 innings from him, it'll be good.
All right, the Indians have their right-handed hitting lineup in there tonight as they'll face left-hander Martin Perez for Texas. We'll see the lineup when we return to Arlington with the first pitch and all the action right after this. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by WB Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. By your local Toyota dealers. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by Ohio Concrete Surfacing, Nature Stone. Getting out the big bats here tonight. Gomez looking up, gone to Souvenir City. Oh, what a diving stop at third by Yandy Diaz. Deep to left, and we are tied at 5. Line drive center field base hit. Make one around third with the go-ahead run. 7-6 Cleveland. Carlos Santana delivers an RBI double. Swing and a miss. He struck him out to end the game. The Indians with a come-from-behind win on opening night here in Texas. The Herite sounds of the game from opening night here in Arlington as the Indians stormed back to beat the Rangers, and now it's on to game 2. More of a settled atmosphere. Opening day, a lot of hype, big crowds. We've got all the usual activities of having the teams come out and take the foul lines. You got the big flag that gets unfurled. And this is just everybody had an opportunity to now take a breath, relax, and we'll see what happens now from here on out.
Yeah, it gets back to normal after day one. I mean, the excitement's there, but it was fun, and it was exciting for the Indians. I do know that.
Well, it was definitely exciting for one Yandy Diaz, who made his major league debut yesterday as a rookie. And with more on that, here's Andre Knott.
Well, thank you, Matt, for Yandy Diaz. Yesterday was a dream come true. You talk about catching your breath. He said when he ran out to third base yesterday, he didn't know where to put his mind. He was thinking about going home and being at home in Cuba and the trip that it made to get here and be a big league player. But the one thing Terry Francona said that he liked and he loved about the situation is that Yandy didn't look like he was nervous. Yandy didn't play like he was nervous. I asked him today how nervous he was, and he says, I've never been so nervous in my life. But he said what really got him going, guys, it wasn't so much the hitting the ball. He said making a play in the infield really relaxed him and got him going, and he said he felt like home by the time he got up to the point to hit the double. He looks forward to more nights like last night as his career begins.
No doubt about it. He looked like he was right at home. And now we'll see what the Indians can do against left-hander Martin Perez, who gets the start for the Rangers. And the Indians starting lineup is presented by Progressive. Carlos Santana back in the leadoff spot. He's at first base tonight. Francisco Lindor, the shortstop, will bat second. Michael Brantley, a hit in his return to the lineup last night, hits third. Edwin Encarnacion, who homered last night in his Indians debut, bats cleanup. Then it's Jose Ramirez. Brandon Guyer gets the start in right field. Yandy Diaz, Yan Gomes, and Austin Jackson starts in center field, batting ninth.
And our Northern Ohio Hyundai starting pitcher for the Rangers is going to be Martin Perez, the birthday boy, turning 26 years old today. Last year, set career highs in his first full major league season. He had 198 and 2/3 innings. He won 10 ball games, struck out 103. The left-hander pitched very well at home. He had 8 wins at home. And, you know, he didn't pitch as well on the road, but he pitched very well in his home ballpark. And we'll let you know a little bit more about that as the game goes on. Let's check out the defense for the Rangers. Brought to you by Wendy's. And it stacks up this way. Rua gets the start in left. Gomez in center. Mazzara is in right. Gallo at third. Andrus at short. Odor is at second. Napoli at first. Chirinos behind the plate.
Mark Wagner will call the balls and strikes this evening. That's the crew chief, Mike Winters. He'll be down at third base. Marty Foster's at first. Mike McClinsky is at second. We are ready to go now as Carlos Santana steps to the plate. He went 2 for 4 last night. 2 doubles and drove in a run. Encarnacion started at first base last night. Santana DH'd. Tonight those roles flip-flop. Perez delivers down low, ball 1. How often Terry Francona decides to play Encarnacion at first versus Santana remains to be seen. Low again, 2 balls, no strikes.
Perez pitched for Venezuela in the WBC this year. He really feels he's made a lot of work up in his first full year last year. He's taken that next step and feels he can compete at the major league level. He did have Tommy John surgery after 14 and 15. He missed some time, but back and had a nice year for a left-hander.
That last pitch just at the bottom of the strike zone. This one up high, but Santana gets on it, sends it deep to right field. Mazzara's out of room. It's out of here. The Indians will take the lead right out of the chute on Carlos Santana's first home run of the year.
What a way to lead off the game. 1 swing, 1 run on 1 hit. And it looks like they wanted to come inside to Santana here, and I don't think he located it well. Let's check it out on our Nissan pitch tracker. Up and away. He missed it away, and he just sliced it that way. And you can see the ball carrying in this ballpark. It really has a lot of carry to right.
Just did clear the fence into the first row.
Indians on the board.
Down and in for a strike to Francisco Lindor. Frankie 0 for 4 last night. Now make it 0 for 3. He did pick up a sac fly. Pitch up and away. You know that sequence to Santana, the previous pitch after throwing 2 straight balls, he got a pitch down on the strike zone, just at the bottom of the zone. And very rarely do you see a guy go from the bottom of the zone to the top of the zone.
Well, watch. See where he's sitting? Chirino's sitting down and in. He wanted it back down there, and this ball just got away, and you can see it slices. He just slices it that way. It goes to show you when the ball is elevated, it doesn't have to be hit that well to get out of here at right field.
Downstairs.
I mean, you still have to hit it good, but it's so much easier to take it the other way when it's elevated.
Now the 2-2 pitch. And Lindor tries to shoot one the other way, but he fouls it off. Low and away, full count.
Tried to drill that outside corner. Perez pitches from the middle of that pitching rubber. You see left-handers go from the third base side, from the middle to the first base side.
And he walks him. So a homer and a walk. And the Indians are picking up right where they left off last night, when the bats really got hot as the game wore on and Michael Brantley came up in his last at bat. He was 0 for 4 going into that at bat in the 9th inning. And with 2 outs, he pulled a ball through the right side of the infield for an RBI single that gave the Indians their 8th and final run of the night. And his teammates were really happy for Michael, knowing how hard that he has worked to get back into the lineup.
And I'm sure Michael was thrilled for himself to see that ball get through and get himself an RBI with 2 outs.
Runner goes. Throw down. And Lindor is safe at second base.
Now they're trying to say he looked and he overslid the bag and they kept the tag on. That was Andrus. He had a great jump. He went on first movement right here, wasting no time, and that's the way to do it if you do it early in the count. Chirinos makes a pretty strong throw. He was safe, but no, he stayed on it. Okay, he's fine. They had that challenge yesterday early on a stolen base in the first inning. They can look at it.
They're going to challenge it.
Wow, I'm going to tell you something. That's you know, when
I think the reason they're going to challenge it, Arch, is that when Frankie went into the bag, he's safe. He pops up off the base just for a moment.
We're just talking about this before the game on replay.
Right about.
Stay with me. Stay with me.
There. Well, that's,
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm telling you, it was called safe. And they challenged yesterday in that situation. They lost a challenge till the 8th inning on a bang-bang play like that, except their player was called out. Today, Lindor's called safe. And, you know, I don't know if they could overturn that with what they see. And it was so slow to get there.
Managers only have one challenge, and if you lose it, if you don't win the challenge, you're done until the 8th inning. That's when you can ask for an umpire review.
Yeah,
if you win it, you retain it.
It's almost the identical thing as we talked yesterday, and you're thinking, if it's something like this, do you want to waste that challenge on something that you're not sure, and you got to have conclusive evidence to overturn it?
Well, this is 2 games in a row. He's challenged almost the identical play, except it was in reverse. It was the Rangers player who was called out.
That's what's, you know, I don't know if I would want to waste it this early. Usually, if it's going to impact and you have a chance to score a run or something like that, then it may be worthwhile. But you're talking about 90 feet here.
This is one of those things, too, where it goes back to the spirit of the rule when they implemented replay challenges was not for this type of play. This isn't what they had in mind.
All right, but it's overturned.
But once the genie's out of the bottle, what are you supposed to do? If you're on the base, you're safe. If you're not on the base, you're out. But I don't think the initial idea of instant replay was to break plays down frame by frame, and a guy's going full speed headlong into a base, and he comes off by a fraction of an inch.
Well, you can see he stole it easily. He gets in there, but then his momentum carries him over. And nowadays they teach you to keep the tag applied in case you come off the base, and that's exactly what happened. It was awfully close.
First out of the inning, and Michael Brantley at the plate, needing a little extra time. There's some bugs down on the field.
There has to be, because when they were looking at that challenge, the Texas infield came out and they were spraying bug spray all over themselves. So there's got to be a lot of bugs down there that we really can't see. Look at that. That hand is about, I'm telling you, maybe a half an inch off the base, and his toe is about the same.
That's one frame of video. You talk about splitting hairs, that's the definition of it right there.
But we're told it equals 1/30th of a second. How about that? He was safe to out. I don't like that call.
Now the 1-2. Swung on and missed. Brantley down swinging. And there are 2 away now. Tonight's storylines are brought to you by Wayside Furniture. The Encarnacion effect as he comes to the plate. Well, he had a big impact on yesterday's ball game in his Indians debut, and everyone will keep a close eye on Carlos Carrasco early in this game here tonight. Did not have a great spring, but hopefully he's up to par here tonight. Encarnacion chases a high heater, and it's 0-1. Two quick strikes.
Yeah. Swung at the first one, might have been a little elevated. That one was upstairs too, but gets the call.
Down and in. Martin Perez, not known as a strikeout pitcher. A year ago, he struck out only 12% of the hitters that he faced, which ranked him almost dead last among qualifying pitchers in all of baseball.
Yeah, he's a ground ball guy. He gets, what, over 50% of his outs on the ground, which is 8th best in the league last year. And he had like 36 grounded into double plays, which led the league.
Yet so far here tonight, through 20 pitches thrown, not a ground ball in sight. He elevates the fastball once again. And in this ballpark, if you elevate it, you don't want to miss and have it elevated. You know,
well, just like how Santana
high,
had.
yeah.
I mean, that ball to Santana was up around the numbers, and he was able to get on top of it and slice it out of here.
Oh,
good
got
pitch.
him looking. Back-to-back strikeouts for Martin Perez. But Carlos Santana starts this game off with his first home run of the year, and the Indians lead it 1-0. Nothing lead, and now Carlos Carrasco goes to work for the Indians. Here's the lineup he will face for Texas. It's brought to you by Hankook Tires. Carlos Gomez will lead it off, followed by Shin-Soo Choo. Nomar Mazara bats third. Mike Napoli, Rougned Odor, who homered twice last night, will bat fifth. Ryan Rua is sixth. Joey Gallo, Elvis Andrus, and Robinson Chirinos rounding it out.
Northern Ohio Honda starting pitcher Carlos Carrasco making his first start this year. 15 innings, as I told you, in spring training. And we'll see. It's all going to be command of the fastball for Carlos here, because everything revolves around that when he wants to get to that slider.
Fastball to right. Brandon Guyer with a terrific catch in deep right field.
Play.
Man, did he get a great jump on it, and then an all-out sprawling effort right out of the chute. You don't even get a chance to get loose out there.
I'll tell you right from the first pitch, and that ball slicing away from him, boy, he extended out as far as he could go. And on the run, he stretches. Beautiful catch. That ball looked like it was by him. He tumbles, gets over, and makes just a beautiful play for the first out of the game for the Indians.
I'm going to give that one 4 stars.
I give it a 5-star.
Okay. I don't go higher than 4. I don't have enough room in my card. Here's Shin-Soo Choo. He was 1 for 4 last night. This is something we talked about in spring training, but watching Guyer make that play, I often wonder, you know, as an athlete, when you're going full tilt, what makes you make the catch and then do a tuck and roll as he did, as opposed to just kind of going straight forward?
Momentum. You just, it's like a football guy catching and then tucking.
Yeah.
The same thing you do in baseball. As you're on the dead, you're going to roll. So you don't want to get anything caught underneath you. It was yeah, that's a 5-star play, no doubt.
Now the 1-1. Choo with a half swing on a ball and almost hit him in the back foot. And a ball and 2 strikes.
I mean, this ball is going away from him, slicing. That ball was by him. He really just had to throw that glove out there, and I think that's what made him turn that shoulder a little bit to where he was able to turn it over.
Old high school football player, was a great running back in high school, so he knows how to take a hit. Chewed down on strikes. Carlos Carrasco registers his first K on the season. And the first two Rangers retired to start the night.
Well, there it is. That's the bread and butter for Carlos. That good slider going straight down. When he has that pitch early in a game, a lot of times I've seen him pitch some very good ball games.
Arch, you can see on that screen right there the bugs as they swirl around Carrasco. It's almost like, you know, in Cleveland sometimes we get those weird games in late September when the bugs
midges,
come flying
whatever
out.
they call them.
Yeah. Nomar Mazara, a couple of hits last night, including a double. Just missed low. It was his first season opener. And at 21 years old, he'll turn 22 here in a couple of weeks. Now, he's one of the youngest as he cuts and misses. According to the Rangers PR staff, he's the fifth youngest in the last 10 years to have multiple hits in a season opener. Bryce Harper, Jason Hayward, Starlin Castro, Travis Snyder, the others to accomplish it in the last 10 years. Now the 1-2. Just did get a piece of the ball to stay alive. I know Carlos Carrasco didn't have a great spring, but there might not be a guy outside of Michael Brantley more anxious to get into a game this year than Carrasco, the way his season came to an end last year. To center field, Austin Jackson puts it away. Carlos Carrasco sets him down 1-2-3, and a spectacular effort by Brandon Geyer gets it started. 1-0 Cleveland after an inning. Cleveland with a 1-0 lead on a leadoff homer by Carlos Santana in the first. Jose Ramirez to lead off. One for three last night, but one very big homer. Pops this one to center. Charging in is Gomez. One down. That home run hit by Ramirez, Terry Francona told us before the ball game. He said that was the hit that really gave us some life, got us back in the ball game. And he said, I think that gave Kluber a little lift too, because he said, you know, so many times in years past when Corey has gone out and pitched, we've had a tough time scoring runs. And he said, I just think the way the team was swinging the bats, it gave Kluber a little extra juice. Well, and he certainly went out and pitched great after that.
You know, Kluber's mindset is he goes out there and he feels he can't give up more than three because you got to give your offense a chance. Well, he fell behind early. He had command problems early. And when you're down 4-1 and then you get that one swing, you know that you have to put zeros on the rest of the time to at least give that offense an opportunity. And that's exactly what he did. He found a different gear.
And he found a different way. You know, he had he said he had a little issue with his finger, whether it was a blister or whatever it was, and you know, he started throwing changeups.
Hey, what do we call it? A game of adjustments.
Yeah.
Sometimes your A game is not going to be there. You got to go to plan B. And sometimes you have to go to plan C. But you got to find a way to survive and stay in the game if you want to win games as a starting pitcher. And he didn't win it, but he sure kept his team in it.
Brandon Geyer takes a 3-0 pitch all the way for a strike. Terry Francona doesn't look at Brandon Geyer as strictly a platoon player, but certainly he'll get a lot of opportunities against left-handed pitching because he does that so well. Puts the bat on the ball, lines one into center field for a base hit.
Well,
our stat of the game brought to you by Buick. You go back to last night, that home run by Jose Ramirez. I mean, he launched this baby.
It was 5-1 at the time. They had a man on.
Youngest Indian since Manny Ramirez to homer on opening day. Indians actually ended a 3-year opening day home run drought with the homers by Ramirez and Encarnacion last night. Here's Yandy Diaz. Diaz smoked the ball down into the right field corner last night for his first hit of the year. And he also blistered a ball to shortstop that Elvis Andrus couldn't make the play on. He was charged with an error, but I said it at the time. Yeah, I'll give you the fact that Major League shortstops probably should make that play, but it was no dribbler or roller. That was a bullet hit right at him.
Yeah, well, that forced Andrus to redo his route, and he turned to the side and didn't realize how hard that ball was hit until it took a hop on him.
It's kind of like, do I want to get in front of this ball?
No. Well, and we told you yesterday, this is a field, the turf and everything. It's like a field in Arizona, spring training field. It's quick infield. Yeah. The grass is short, and the ball scoots through. And that thing, when he hit it, it had a little extra on it. I think that, like Michael Brantley's ball got through here in the 9th inning because of the way this infield is.
Martin Perez. Has fallen behind here 2-0. He was behind Geyer 3-0.
Yeah, he's around the edges when he misses. He's not missing by much. Well, sometimes you pray that these guys are going to be a little aggressive because they want to swing the bat, but they've been able to take some pitches and get themselves in a good hitter's count.
Yandy smokes one to center, but it's right at Gomez. And there are 2 down.
Good swing, good contact, an atta ball.
That's one of those balls that, with all of the new statistical formulas that are out there in many of these applications, aren't things that show up in the local box score, that show up in the newspaper, but hard hit average is something that teams look at. And that's a ball right there for Diaz that will go down. It's like, that's a hard hit ball. You did everything right. Sometimes you hit him at him. Sometimes the defense is positioned well.
Yeah, well, when they used to tell you that when you'd come back into the dugout after a line drive out, you say, who cares? I want to hit. I'd rather hit it soft.
I know you don't care, but do you want to know something about Perez in the last 2 years?
What's that?
Exit velocity that he's given up against right-handers has been 90 miles an hour. Against lefties, only 84 miles an hour. Now, that may not seem like a big deal, but he's that's the second biggest difference of any pitcher in the last 2 seasons.
Okay, because lefties last year hit just $176
right
off him. Righties hit 291.
Yan Gomes was 0 for 4 last night. He did hit a couple of balls hard, one right at the third baseman Joey Gallo for a line drive out. Also hit an opposite field liner to right field. But that hard hit average, I bring that up because when Francisco Lindor first came up, now he was struggling there for a while. People were wondering, boy, what's wrong with Lindor, that kind of thing. And at the time, Ty Van Berkeley, he was one of the first guys that I'd really heard kind of talk about it publicly, saying, look, we keep track of the balls he's hit, and he's hit a lot of balls hard. We don't feel like there's anything wrong, anything he's doing wrong. It's just right now he's hitting them at guys. And if he stays with that approach, he's going to be fine. And the fact they were able to communicate that to him, he never got down on himself. And he realized that, okay. And eventually they started finding some holes.
That was about that first 100 at-bats, I remember, with him.
Worked his way right back to where he's been ever since offensively. Right now, a 2-ball, 2-strike count with 2 down and Geyer at first for Yan Gomes. In tight, full count.
Not giving Yan a lot of swinging room. He's staying very tight to him.
Austin Jackson making his Indians debut here tonight. Waits on deck. Geyer takes off. Gomes pulls it foul.
This is something Jan was working on a lot in spring training, trying to be a little more patient. He was a guy that never liked to walk last year. And that's something that you have to do. You've got to, be patient, and even when it comes to a 3-2 count.
This is a pitcher that almost forces you to be patient. The 3-2. Again, the runner goes. It's a little high. Ball 4.
There you go. Good at bat.
Second walk for Perez.
He was down in the count, so that was a good at bat for Gomes. MLB TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is back and better than ever. You can watch every out-of-market game live at home, in the office, or on the go for just $19.99. Visit MLB.com for the details.
So Austin Jackson, the 9th man to bat already tonight for the Indians, with 2 on 2 out here in the second inning. Ball 1, it's inside. Jackson's a guy that, he's got quick hands, which gives him the ability to drive the ball. He'll hit for some power every now and then. He had 16 home runs one year for the Tigers back in 2012.
Look, I think he crossed up Chirinos right here, and they're talking about that right now because the pitching coach comes out and they were inside. Watch it. He's sitting away. He throws the pitch inside and takes it off, and it's almost like, he's missed a couple of times. When they want that first pitch down and away for strike 1, and he's missing by 2 feet. So out comes the pitching coach, out comes Chirinos. I don't know if they missed it or what.
He's thrown a lot of pitches. This will be number 40 already. And Jackson smacks one right back through the middle. Geyer will score from second. Gomes stops at second, and Austin Jackson makes it 2-0 Cleveland.
And I guarantee you, Austin was sitting out there licking his chops after the pitching coach came out and telling him, look, don't try and be too fine early and fall behind the count. Throw strikes. Well, he did right here, and Jackson was waiting for it. It was a fastball. It cut pretty much the heart of the plate. So a big 2-out base hit will score Geyer, and the Indians will take a 2-0 lead, and Jackson gets his first hit, and Ribby is an Indian.
That'll take us to the top of the order, and Carlos Santana, who jumped on a high pitch and sent it out of here to right field to start the game. It's already the 6th career leadoff home run for Carlos Santana. Not bad for a guy who never really let off until he started last year against Justin Verlander.
Right. He hasn't even been doing it a full year yet. But Santana's a guy that can always get up on the high fastball from either side of the plate. And, if you give him a little swinging room, he's going to extend, and he's got great power. You don't see him hit many the other way, opposite field. He's a pull side guy for mostly everything, but that one went opposite field. And that may have something to do with the way his leg kick is this year. It's much quieter, where it's almost like a toe tap, and he slides it to time the pitcher.
Yan Gomes drew a 2-out walk. Austin Jackson knocked home Geyer. 2 on 2 out. Santana takes. That's low.
Well, he wants to make sure he gets this down to at least Santana. After you hurt the guy one time, now he's pitching for trying to get out of this inning. A big 2-out base hit by Jackson kept it going after the walk. That's why Gomes' at bat was so important. He was down on the count 1-2 and ended up drawing the walk. Kept the inning going.
Ground ball up the middle, and that gets through. Coming around third, Gomes will score. It's 3-0 Cleveland. 3 straight have reached with 2 outs. Back-to-back RBI hits by Jackson and Santana.
Sometimes we talk about it. That's that first 2-out base hit that takes a lot of pressure off somebody. Jackson got it, and now it continues. Santana, you can see that ball, a couple of hopper through the infield. The first time up, they had 3 guys over on the left side of that infield. They had the shift on Santana right where that ball would have went. But with the way first and second guys on base.
From what you've seen so far, is he not commanding the baseball as well as he should be? Is he nibbling?
It's a little of both. He's fallen behind. He's not changed speeds enough, you know, to where he's keeping these guys off balance. They're pretty much looking for one pitch. You know, he's thrown the cutter, or it just hasn't been able to throw any off-speed pitches for strikes. So I think these guys are looking dead red. Now there might have been a changeup.
They get the force to end the inning, but the Indians score 2 here in the second. And it's now Cleveland 3, Texas nothing. Bottom of the second for Texas. And with more on the former Indian, let's go down to Andre Knott.
Well, Matt, last night we talked so much about the emotions Mike Napoli is going through going against the Indians. Today, Terry Francona told me, you know, you go from 6 months ago rooting for Mike Napoli for about, 600 or some at bats. He goes, and wanting every time he swings it to hit it 600 feet. He goes, and he came up last night and he goes, I can't root for him anymore. He goes, I'm holding my breath every time he swings. He goes, it's not a good feeling for a guy that you know can hit the way Mike Napoli can hit.
Yeah, you just hope your pitchers execute their pitches.
Well, and as Mike told Andre, he's kind of happy in one regard that the Rangers and Indians are playing each other right out of the gate. So he said, I can kind of get this out of the way and move on.
Yeah, get down to business.
Carlos Carrasco falling behind here 2-0. He went through the Rangers 1, 2, 3 in the first inning, but he has spent a lot of time already tonight just sitting around waiting.
That's okay.
Indians sent only 4 men to the plate in the first, but it took a while for that inning to transpire. We had the replay challenge, and then they sent, 7 men to the plate in the second inning. Good fastball in there for a strike. Now leaving the count at 2-2. With the Indians jumping out to a 3-0 lead. It reminds me that since last night's final score was 8-5, the Indians have now won their last 58 regular season games dating back to a year ago when they lead by 3 runs or more. 58 in a row. That speaks to obviously the great strength of that bullpen. The 3-2. Broke his bat, line to Diaz for out number 1. So Yandy's been tested a couple of times at the hot corner on a couple of unusual plays. Arch, a little floating line drive, and that one was a stinging liner, although some of the sting taken out of it by the broken bat. Rougned Odor had quite a night last night with not 1 but 2 home runs. And pretty impressive season debut. Hit 33 homers last year.
Yeah, this guy likes to get on that fastball. Yeah, he set the table for him. But after that home run that he hit, the 3-run homer, the Indians, they shut down the offense for the Rangers. They only gave up 2 hits the rest of the ball game. Wonderful job by Kluber as he gave you those last couple of innings, and then turned it over to the bullpen, who once again did a wonderful job.
Not only have the Indians won 58 straight when they lead by 3 or more, but remember a year ago they had the most wins in the American League. When they scored first, they were 63-20 when they got the first run of the game. One ball and 2 strikes.
It's funny too, because I remember, you got to go back to, it was what, June 1st of last year, when these Rangers were in Cleveland, where they ended up getting their walk-off win to keep it rolling. And they beat the Rangers after the Rangers had beaten them 2 straight games. Gomes got a base hit to get it going, and then Kansas City came to town, and they just continued on that trend.
Rougned Odor gets the Rangers' first hit of the night. A little soft single in the center. Last year in the majors, the Cubs did the most damage. Tigers had better winning percentage, but the number of wins by the Indians was far and away the most in the American League. Texas, they didn't shoot a bad stick when scoring first either. Ryan Rua, local product from Amherst, Ohio. Local meaning for the folks back home in Cleveland watching tonight. Up and in, ball 1. Ryan Rua was a 17th round pick by the Rangers 6 years ago. Bottom of the strike zone, evens the count 1-1. Last year, Rua played in 99 games for Texas, hit .258, 8 homers, or make that 20. That can't be right. Ground ball towards third. Yandy Diaz will go to second. He'll get the force as Ramirez hung in there for out number 2.
Well, the ball was not hit that hard, but he decided to go that he had enough time to get the lead runner. You see, Ramirez didn't want to come over the bag because that's where the runner's going to slide. So they do get the lead runner, though, for out number 2.
Batting 7, the third baseman, number 13, Joey Gallo.
I was looking in the Rangers media guide, Arch, and it says Ryan Rua last year hit 22 home runs and had 0 RBIs.
It's a good year.
I don't think that's possible. I think they've got those numbers.
There's a typo there.
I think they missed a column. I think he had 8 homers and 22 RBIs. But in any event, he's at first after the fielder's choice with 2 down, and Joey Gallo looks at a ball inside. Gallo was 0 for 3 last night.
Told you about Gallo last night. A couple seasons of 40 homers down in the minor leagues. Big power. It just hasn't been able to translate up to the major leagues because he doesn't get an opportunity to play. But this one will.
That ball will play. Deep and gone. Way up into the second deck in right field. And the Rangers get on the board here in the second.
That's what the big man can do to you if you hit the wrong location. He has a slight uppercut.
I'll say.
And you talk about light tower power. There it is right there.
How's that launch angle?
Watch this. I mean, right there, the fastball Carrasco. You got to know it, especially in this ballpark. So it's now a 3-2 game. Gallo gets a home run, and he's playing because Adrian Beltre on the disabled list coming out of spring training with that one way deep into that upper deck and right.
Now Elvis Andrus, who the Indians have a tough time with, putting it mildly. He's hit in 54 of 58 career games against Cleveland. And in the opener, he became just the second player in Rangers history to double and triple in a season opener. And it's 1-1. Well, that guy that was testing out his biceps, he hit one a mile.
461. It was that's what they said the tail of the tape was.
Swung out and missed. It's 1-2. Carlos Gomez. He hit a home run last night. Only the 20th time a player has hit one into that middle deck in left field. The 1-2 down in the dirt. Carrasco working a 1-2-3 first inning. Retired the first batter, Mike Napoli, here in the second. Down and in, and now a full count to Elvis Andrus, as Carrasco has just hit the 30 pitch mark. They're hoping for 80 to 85 pitches, maybe 5 innings from Carrasco tonight if all goes well, maybe more. Well, they thought Carrasco thought it was strike 3, and evidently not.
Well, he looks in at the home plate umpire, Mark Wegner, and he said, where was it? So this ball's got to be a little bit off the plate. Pretty tough pitch to take. Call the ball, so a 2-out walk now. Carrasco's first.
And it will bring up Robinson Chirinos, the Rangers catcher. With 2 down and a runner at first. And Carlos with a fastball in there for strike 1. If you're wondering why we don't have the pitch speeds up tonight, we've had a catastrophic pitch tracks failure at this point. 0-1 offering and a foul back. They don't even have the radar gun in the ballpark.
No, I know it. I've been looking and I can't find one anywhere.
I guess it's a problem that's sweeping the nation.
Went out on strike.
Radar operators everywhere, unite.
Well, they're taking the night off on Andre's birthday.
Carrasco trying to work his way through the inning. Swung out and missed. He strikes him out to end the frame. But Joey Gallo gets the Rangers on the board with a 2-run homer. And the Indians lead is a run through 2 here in Texas.
Stand this year that'll take place against the White Sox and the Tigers. You can grab a $13 district ticket presented by Sports Time. or a $10 KeyBank Kids ticket online. Just go to Indians.com for the information.
Michael Brantley struck out his only time up in the first. Leads off here in the third. Martin Perez getting the start tonight on his 26th birthday. Gave up a leadoff homer to Carlos Santana to start. And then 2 runs last inning on 3 hits. He walked the batter. It was a long inning. Brantley pulls it foul.
Yeah, he's had to work pretty hard for his 2 innings of work. He'll be over that 50 pitch mark in this inning.
Bloop to left. That'll be a base hit for Brantley.
Brantley, the only lefty in the lineup that where Perez is very good against, but gets an 0-2 base hit.
A great clip of the game from last night. Edwin Encarnacion, his first home run as a Cleveland Indian. And it was a no doubt about it.
Yeah, he was on that curveball from Bush and tied the game up.
Down and in, ball 1. Low, 2-0.
He was able to get ahead of Encarnacion the first at bat. A couple of fastballs. He swung at a high fastball and hit with the second one. This time around, misses with the first 2 pitches. See if Eddie's going to sit on something.
Low and away, 3-0.
You know, usually when you're a good as hitter as Encarnacion and you get the count in your favor, you're looking to do damage on that 1 pitch. And, you know, that's when your zone really shrinks because you don't have to chase his pitch. You can make him come to you, and if you don't like what you see, you can take. But now you can get a little more aggressive. If you're looking for the 1 pitch, it doesn't have to be right there. He can extend it a little bit the way he can hit the ball. He went out and hit a ball last night that he thought he popped up and was a line drive to left field in his first hit.
Yeah, he never saw the ball off the bat. 3-0, low, ball 4.
Now it's Perez looking in to see, is that ball down? He's asking. They're questioning the umpire. And that happened early last night where we thought the zone might have been a little small for the pitchers. But it expanded as the game went on, believe it or not.
You can see the players both at the plate and in the field doing everything they can to try and swat away the pesky gnats that seem to be circling their faces. 2 on, nobody out. Jose Ramirez fly to center, his only time up last inning. Low, ball 1. Martin Perez at 54 pitches. He's almost 50-50. He's thrown 28 strikes, 26 for balls.
Well, and that's 1 pitch he hasn't been able to throw a lot of strikes with. It's a breaking ball, so he's turning into a 2-pitch pitcher, a fastball and the changeup. That was the fastball. So he's really having to work hard to get his way through these innings early in the ball game. But remember, we told you last year 36 ground ball double plays he induced hitters to hit into, which led the league. But I look at him now, and as you mentioned, but there's one ground ball out, and that was Lindor back in the second inning to end it. So you can see he's having to work hard to get through it tonight early.
Ground ball and a diving stop by Andrews. Goes to second for one. On to first. A big time double play really saves Martin Perez. Otherwise, that ball gets through. The gates are open and the Indians may have knocked him out of here.
Well, that goes to show you. Watch, it's a quick double play. Well played by Andrews. And he got the flip. Didn't even take it out of the glove. Just flips it to Odor as he gets it. An easy double play to the bare hand. And a nice play defensively. Even though that ball was smoked, they turned it for two. And that's a big break and a breath of fresh air for Martin Perez.
And it brings up Brandon Guyer. Guyer singled and scored in the second. He crunches one to deep center. Back is Gomez. He's got room and makes the catch on the warning track to end the inning. Well, it started promising for Cleveland. The first two on, nobody out. But this may be a game saver for Texas here in the early going.
We're going to check out that Indians defense, brought to you by Jeep. Stacks up this way: Brantley left, Jackson center, Guyer in right. It'll be Diaz and Lindor on the left side, Ramirez, Santana on the right, with Gomes doing the catching.
Carlos Gomez leading off. Pops the first pitch straight up, right at the plate.
Does he see it?
Yan Gomes back, and he makes the catch.
He
One
sure
down.
does.
Squeezes it.
You love that. One pitch, one out.
Oh, looky here, Arch.
Oh my goodness, there it is.
There's the boomstick.
You got it. What's that, about 2 feet long?
Smothered cheese.
Oh my goodness.
And then you put the chili on.
Oh my goodness.
And the grilled onions, peppers. Holy macaroni.
Feeds a family of 6.
And we're not done yet. Jalapenos. Shin-Soo Choo taking a called strike. By the way, just want to remind fans who maybe have just tuned in, no pitch speeds tonight. We are experiencing an MLB global data outage right now. It's all across the board throughout baseball. No speed, no pitch trackers, no mile per hour.
Well, I sort of like that then, because you know, everybody looks for that speed in the gun, and I remember the days before they even had it.
Old time hockey, eh?
You got to sit and watch it. Pay attention to the pitcher.
Well, that one just popped up at 84 miles an hour. I don't know where that came from.
I think that was Murph coloring in the truck.
Two on count. Chu cuts and misses at a good fastball. Looked like a two-seamer running away.
Oh boy.
Happy birthday,
Happy
Andre.
birthday, big boy. I guarantee you, you've got about another 4 innings to eat it. Let's see. We don't expect to talk to you for about another 3. Good luck. Yeah, that's bigger than his baseball bat he used to swing.
Down on the dirt. That could feed the whole St. V's team right there.
Well, I'll tell you what, you better watch and see if any Indians come over there in between innings.
Well, one in particular is leaning up against the fence down there, the railing.
The skipper might be over there to join him.
No doubt about
Don't
it.
show Tito.
The 3-2 is a swing and a ground ball by Yandy Diaz in the left. Chu not trying to do too much.
Well, you can see they were really shifted over there, and they gave him that way, and he stayed on it. I mean, I'm not sure if Lindor was on the second base side or the right side of second base, but Chu just stayed on it. Look at that won't be considered a shift, but that's a shift in my eyes that he was able to beat and get it past Diaz into left field. So a 1-out single for Chu.
And up comes Nomar Mazara. Applied to center. His only time up in the first. Not many balls
hit that way.
Hit that way for Chu on the ground.
Last year, absolutely. But he swung and missed at a good fastball away the pitch before that, so he just cut it down a little bit, and I think just tried to put it in play.
Granted, he didn't play a whole lot last year. Limited to just 48 games. Roped right field. Geyer will cut it off. Mazara's going for two. Here's the throw. It's in plenty of time, and he is a dead duck.
Well, I'll tell you
Two
what,
down.
Geyer having a really good evening out in right field.
Chu went to third, but I mean, that was just a great throw by Geyer.
Well, the key is getting over there early, and he was able to get himself set. Look, and he's going to plant, and he actually dropped that ball, but he had his footwork good enough to where he was able to turn and throws him out by plenty on the one-hop throw.
I'm wondering if that's why Mazara decided to hoof it when he saw him just had that slight little bobble there where he didn't pick it up cleanly.
He could have, absolutely. I didn't realize he bobbled that ball. He got over there quickly, but his feet were in good position to make the throw, and he did make a good one-hop throw.
Tying run at third for Texas here in the third. Mike Napoli looks at a ball inside.
He smokes that ball down, and I was thinking double, but he cut it off. But boy, he didn't miss a beat. He picked it right back up, and look at that throw. That was a great camera shot right there, going the one-hop throw into second base. And that's a big out because he has a chance to get out of this inning now, and with the Indians still leading. Andre, give Geyer a little piece of your boomstick when he comes in for the good throw.
They'll trade you a few sunflower seeds.
He can't talk down there.
You can't talk when you got
I know
eating that thing. Can't even hold on to the microphone of nacho cheese all over it. Napoli takes inside, 2-1. Grounded foul, third base side. By the way, we've already had something rare happen tonight. In the second inning, Elvis Andrus, a right-handed hitter, drew a walk. That's the first walk going back to last year that Carlos Carrasco has issued to a right-handed hitter in 140 plate appearances.
No kidding.
Hit him. Tried to throw a little breaking ball and he cut under it.
No, that's
Napoli's aboard.
Yeah, that's not the guy you want to face after you hit Napoli. Looks like he just cuts under this ball. It's a breaking ball and it stays right there. Napoli takes it on the shoulder, and now you're bringing up Odor.
So Rougned Odor with a chance to do some damage. Carlos Carrasco just trying to get out of trouble. Pop back into the seats. Odor with a base hit in the second. 3 for 5 now to start the year. Now the 0-1. Way up and away. Odor with 60 career home runs. That's the 4th most by a major league second baseman since the start of the 2014 campaign. Only Brian Dozier, who we've seen hit a lot of home runs, Robbie Cano, and Neil Walker have hit more. Carrasco sitting at 50 pitches. This is a key out right here. Key at bat for him and the Indians. Outside, he missed 2-1.
Might have been a changeup. That's the pitch that Kluber went to last night when he retired him the 3rd time on a full count. He got him to chase it down in the dirt.
Now a 2-1. And a fastball in off the plate. 3 balls and a strike.
Yeah, this is you just want to be careful. If you want to give him a fastball, you got to keep it in and in off the plate right there and see if he gets aggressive. If not, if you happen to walk him, then you go deal with the right-hander that's on deck. But you don't give in and throw a strike here.
And he fouls it off. Full count.
That was a changeup right there. Gomes knows he was behind the plate last night. He's not going to give in to him. He's going to make him work for it because it's a fastball count situation. There's a good changeup. Now, if you want, throw it down even more. And if he wants to go after it, go ahead.
Rougned Odor, his batting helmet looks like he grabbed it out of a trash barrel.
You know, with all the pine tar on it, he probably goes home and puts it in the microwave and cooks it on at night, and he just has to touch that helmet. He's got Rossin on there, the pine tar, and I'm sure he doesn't let anybody clean it throughout the course of the year.
Napoli takes off, swung out and missed. Carrasco strikes out Odor. His 3rd K of the evening, and it's a big one as it keeps that tying run stranded for Texas. 3-2 Cleveland after 3. Back and look at the pitch by pitch to Rougned Odor.
Well, that fastball was just about high enough. He put a good swing on it. Then he tried to throw the 2-seamer, but when he falls behind and gets 3-1, Gomes was in there last night. When Kluber was out there, he comes back-to-back changeups. There was a changeup. Now the 3-2 pitch, expand your zone. And Kluber got the same thing last night when he threw it in the dirt. So Gomes was right there. He had the guts to call it, and Carrasco had the guts to throw it.
Yandy Diaz line to center, his only time up. Takes, and it's a strike on the outside corner.
Man, we can see our gun is back. Very nice.
spun him out of there. The 1-2 is called a third strike, and I don't know about that. Just the third strikeout for Martin Perez, one away. Time now for a Buick game break. Here's Al Pulaski. Thanks, Al. Here's Yan Gomes swinging and fouling one back. A.J. Hinch said that when he first met Brian McCann, he said, "I'm A.J. Hinch, I'm your manager, and oh, by the way, you're batting 8th." But, you know, I mean, when you've got a lineup like the Astros, they went out and made all those moves in the offseason. McCann's obviously a guy that can provide quite a bit of power, but.
Well, he used to be a good hitter. He got over to the Yankees. He turned into a pole hitter because of the short porch. They want him to hook everything. And he lost his feel for using the whole field. So maybe if he proves to his manager he can use the whole field, you work your way back up into that lineup.
But, you know, they've got Altuve, they've got Correa.
Yeah, they've got some very good hitters.
They added Josh Reddick, right?
Yeah.
In the offseason. 2-strike pitch. Gomes with a slow comebacker over the bag at second. Odor fields it cleanly. And he's able to throw him out. 2 down.
Well, it's not too late. You can get a prorated 2017 Tribe season ticket package for the best seats at the best prices with the best perks. Save big over single game prices. Get access to summer season ticket, autograph party, and plenty more. Go to Indians.com. We will be at home to open up a week from tonight. We'll be opening up at what, 4 in the afternoon against the White Sox next Tuesday. Looking forward to it.
And a fastball strike. A lot of first pitch fastball strikes from Martin Perez tonight. And a shot right at Napoli ends the inning. So the Indians go 1-2-3 for the first time tonight. They lead it by a run as we head to the bottom of the 4th. At Elk and Elk. Nothing really new to report. Indians expecting they'll have Lonnie Chisenhall when they return home for the home opener. Jason Kipnis maybe another week or so away. Cody Anderson, he'll be done for the year. Ryan Rua bounced into a fielder's choice in the second inning. Came around and scored a run ahead of the Joey Gallo homer. Takes up high, ball 1. Let's go down to Andre for an update on Lonnie. Does he have an update on Lonnie?
Yes, I can give you an update and thank you for the treat that's down here. You should see all the players trying to take it from me. But Lonnie will leave tomorrow, and he will go on a little bit of a report where he should be back and be ready, as you said, on Tuesday. He's going to play over the next 3 days down in the minor leagues, and he thinks he should be good to go by Tuesday.
All right.
Tito thinks he can dominate this thing, by the way.
Well, we want some visual evidence. We want to see you get after
That's why nobody will eat it.
I'm going to send a chainsaw down so you can cut it in half.
A weird one-hopper, and Ramirez stays right with it, throws him out. That had some funny English on it, I bet. You don't see many right-handed hitters kind of bloop one at the second baseman like that.
Inside out, where it's going to have that rotation. You know that, though, defensively, that there is going to be some spin on it, so you try and get to it as quickly as possible.
Joey Gallo, he blasted that 2-run homer in the second. But that's been it for the Rangers so far tonight. Now he blisters one down on the chalk, but no, it's just foul.
He's thinking it was fair. He's thinking it was fair. Gallo thinking that's a fair ball. He wants some help from the first base coach. He thought he had an extra base hit. He was thinking 2. But boy, you can see that just missed by maybe an inch. Maybe an inch. He's running down the line. He wants him to come out and challenge it, but that ball hit wide of the line.
It's a foul ball. They should see this in 10 seconds. So yeah.
I mean, it's close, and sure, you want that, but it was foul by that much.
Horseshoes and hand grenades, my friend. Horseshoes and hand grenades. Indians do have a true shift on for Gallo here. And that was a good pitch for a strike. 0-2.
They've got the 2-3 defense going on there. That's zone coverage.
Got him. Carlos Carrasco strikes out his 4th, and there are 2 down in the inning.
Another good changeup to a left-handed hitter. Carrasco with some movement going down and away. Gets the aggressiveness of Gallo to swing and miss. 4th strikeout.
Elvis Andrus had the walk in the 2nd inning. Another blooper. This one caught on the fly, and the inning is over. 1-2-3 go the Rangers. And it's a 3-2 Indians lead as we move to the 5th. You buy Levin Furniture. For the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin's. By Northern Ohio Honda. Made in Ohio, Ohio proud. And by T-Mobile. Only T-Mobile's lets you stream, post, and share all things MLB. With T-Mobile One, unlimited data means unlimited baseball. Inning number 5 here in Arlington. And the Indians leading it by a run. Tribe got a leadoff homer by Carlos Santana to start the game. Then they added 2 in the 2nd. And it looked like it might be a short night for Martin Perez, but he got out of the 3rd with a huge double play ball and then set him down 1-2-3 in the 4th.
Yeah, he had 2 on, nobody out in that inning. Ended up getting a hard hit double play ball and a great play by Andrus, and then the 2 pitches he was out of the inning.
Mazzara in right field makes the easy catch here. 1 away. 6 straight batters. Perez has retired. And up comes Francisco Lindor. Walked in the 1st and then bounced into an inning-ending fielder's choice in the 2nd. Up and away, ball 1. Lined toward right. Mazzara again. 2 down. It's April in the OHIO, and the Tribe again tomorrow night will take on the Texas Rangers right here. Danny Salazar goes against Cole Hamels. Indians Live with Alan Jensen starts our coverage at 7:30. Play-by-play begins at 8 right here on the home of the Tribe, Sports Time Ohio, and Fox Sports Go. Michael Brantley, 1 for 2 tonight. Aside from the hard work and everything that he's put into coming back, why do you think a guy like Brantley, what is it about his approach, his swing, that enables him to miss all that time and yet step right in and not look like he's missed all that much time?
Well, there's not a lot to his swing. He's very quiet, you know, in the batter's box. He has a good eye. He's patient. He's not a pull hitter. There's not a lot of mechanical things to get to. You know, he's worked with his dad for so long. He's got that swing ironed out, and you know, he just makes it look easy.
He just taps the shoulder, up comes the bat, and
He's
he
just
is
got
in
that
hitting
one
position.
little boom, boom, let's go. You know, other guys get up and they've got their kicks, their leg kicks. He's so smooth in the batter's box that he just sees the ball, hits the ball, doesn't try and do too much with it.
Watch him bounce it once, bounce it again, and now here we go. Spun him out of the way, 2-2.
Well, and he's stayed in on. He's pitched Michael in all night long. He got him down in the count when Michael got the base hit in his last at bat, but he left him something out over the plate that he was able to serve to left field. Coming back in.
And he strikes him out. Well, Martin Perez has really righted the ship, and he has set down 8 straight. So Martin Perez has turned things around. He's retired 8 in a row. Carlos Carrasco's given up just 2 runs. Came on a 2-run homer by Joey Gallo in the second. He's retired the last 4 Rangers hitters in a row. And he starts the 5th, the home half of the 5th, against Robinson Chirinos, the Texas catcher who struck out in the second inning. If you haven't had a chance to read it, there's a really well-written story by Carlos Carrasco on the PlayersTribune.com website. The 0-1 offering followed back. Carlos talks about his journey from Venezuela to the United States as a ball player, as a son, and as an American now, as an American citizen. He details his journey very eloquently. Talks about when he was 6 years old and his mom brought him home his first baseball mitt. It was a secondhand mitt, and you know what, Archie still has it to this day.
No kidding. He never passed it on, huh?
24 years old, he still got it, and he said it still looks just like when I got it, because he said my mom taught me to take care of that glove. And he said, you know, I still, when I was a kid, I'd rub Vaseline on it so it looked nice and shiny and keep the leather soft. And he said, I still have it. It still looks just as good as the day she gave it to me. I mean, that tells you a little something about the passion, the pride you take in what you do. You know, he was a young kid that, you know, he was, before he was a teenager, the family was approached by a local scout in Venezuela and said, I think your son has a chance. Now, I think, you know, you've got a kid that's 12 years old. You're like, yeah, right. But this guy saw something in him, and within a few years, he had him trying out, and he tried out for the Phillies, and they signed him on the spot. He said, I threw all fastballs when I was 16 years old.
Some kind of arm. Well, of course you do. That's what you should be doing. For the most part, maybe a fastball changeup nowadays.
But he also goes on to talk about in the story how much help his teammates were to him a year ago as he prepared for that citizenship exam, and you know, Jason Kipnis would help him on the plane ride, study for the test. And he said I flew down there on an off day and took the test.
Yeah, I remember. He came back. He was so excited.
And you remember on our next road trip, we flew, I forget where the heck we were at. I think we were in Kansas City. And they took his clothes and they left him an Uncle Sam costume. And he proudly wore it home. He thought that was great. You know, he said, hey, when I first came here, I didn't speak any English. He said, I ate Domino's pizza every day for 6 months in a row. He said, so much so that I was their best customer. They gave me free pizza for a month.
To keep going, you were probably sick of it.
But he didn't go to any fancy classes to learn English. He learned
that's
from his
the amazing
teammates.
thing. If you were to go to another country and do something, and you try to learn on your own, I mean, it's a lot of hard work.
Yeah, I think we sometimes forget how difficult it is for these guys.
For a lot of these Latin players to come over, because they sign a lot of these kids at 16 years old. And their goal is to, they want to come to the United States. They want to play baseball. And boy, have they ever changed the culture of this game, because there are more and more of them, it seems like, every year.
The ball and 2 strikes. Carlos Gomez 0 for 2 on the night, but always dangerous. Swung on and missed. Carrasco strikes him out, and that's a half dozen Ks for Carlos.
I think Carlos knows this could be his last. This is his last inning, so he's throwing everything out in the tank, and that slider is his best pitch when you want to get that strikeout, especially to the right-handers, and he's thrown a couple of good change-ups to the left-handers to get the strikeouts. But we know he can strike out a lot of hitters, because he had that string last year of 5 or more strikeouts. He had a string going.
Shin-Soo Choo 1 for 2 tonight. Tries to bunt. Fair. Carrasco bare hand grab and a terrific throw to get him. And now look at Carlos Carrasco. He's retired 7 straight Rangers hitters. And the Indians maintain a 1-run lead through 5. Dealers, Carlos Santana started this game off with a home run to right field. He got up on a high pitch and sent it out of here to the front row. Tribe took the early lead. Then in the very next inning, Santana capped a 2-run rally with a base hit up the middle. It was 3-0. But in the bottom half of the second, Joey Gallo crunched one. I mean, crunched it. 2-run homer, and that's where we stand. Since then, both pitchers have found their groove. Carrasco has retired 7 in a row. Perez has set down 8 straight. Edwin Encarnacion struck out and walked.
Yeah, and Perez has settled in, throwing a lot of first pitch fastball strikes. Remember earlier in the game, he was getting behind, really had to work to the hitters to try and get them out. And the Indians just, I mean, they had him on the ropes, but he made the pitches when he had to. A couple nice defensive plays.
Takes a little something off, drops it in there for a strike, gets a hit. Right now they're just taking on Texas. And Encarnacion pops one sky high to third. Gallo near the bag. 1 down. The $13 district ticket presented by Sports Time Ohio is back. It includes your first drink, so get your friends, catch the game from the corner and right with the drink rails and left. District tickets, you can only get them online. Indians.com/district ticket. Here is Jose Ramirez, 0 for 2. And his at bat turned the tide in this game in the 3rd inning. 2 on, nobody out. Indians had the lead. Looked like they were maybe about to put the lights out on Martin Perez, and he hit a sharp ball to short. Elvis Andrus made a nice play on it and flipped it from his glove to Odor to start a double play. And since then,
yeah, that's what
Indians haven't had a base runner.
Right. Came back on the very next pitch to Geyer on the next hitter. Got out of that inning. And you know, sometimes it's just a hitter that gets you going. That you thought it was going to go through for a base hit, and Andrus snagged it. They turned the double play. They get out of it, and he's been throwing very well ever since. He had a little different step out there. You remember he was slowing, everything was slowing down. He's got a little better tempo and rhythm working now.
A little low. And it's ball 4, so 1 out base runner. That snaps the string. 9 in a row retired by Perez. And it brings up Brandon Geyer.
Brandon's had a good night. Singled, scored a run, made 2 nice defensive plays out in the field and right. Very first hit of the game. And they ended up throwing out Nomar Mazara on a base hit. He tried to stretch into a double.
Well, and remember, when he ended that 3rd inning, he hit the ball to the warning track in deep center field, so he hit that ball hard as well.
That was a beautiful play right at the outset, man. The first hitter of the game, and then he gets over there. Here's Mazara, bobbled it, watched the 1-hop throw on a beautiful angle, and gets him before he even gets to the base. 2 very nice plays out and right.
Got action in the Texas bullpen.
And tomorrow they will face another left-hander in Cole Hamels. There's Jeffress. He is up getting loose. Give him a little time. So you know Geyer will be right back in there again tomorrow. This is what happened to the Indians last year, if you remember. Out of the chute, I think 7 out of the first 10 games were left-handed starters.
Geyer fouling it back out of play. Down and in.
Yeah, I remember a game we had here a few years ago where, do you remember in left field Shelley Duncan?
Oh,
had
yeah.
3 plays in 1 inning. Geyer's made 2 nice ones we're talking about on the night. Shelley Duncan made 3 in that 1 inning, and I think he might have been the most surprised guy of anybody that night.
His expressions told the whole story.
It was priceless. It was priceless.
Well, let's go back and take a look.
It was all in 1 inning, September of 2011. He jumps. That one was even better. Look at him. He's surprised. Wow, I caught it. And this one to end it. Are you kidding me? I couldn't believe it. Is that priceless?
There's the 2-1. And Geyer with a ground ball towards third. It gets by Gallo. And Ramirez hustling. He's going to try to go to third. And he's out.
That's because he came off of the base. That's a heads-up play by Andrus, the shortstop. He beat the throw, but I think his hand came off the base. Rua made the throw at, just in time, and he may have knocked him off the base, which you can't do. Watch the play by Andrus. It's a base hit, and it looks like Gallo should have made the play, but Ramirez is trying to hustle his way into third, but Andrus gets over there in time to throw. Watch, he gets in there safe, but then comes off the base, and then he kept the tag around. He's safe again, and the hand comes off, and he's sort of pushing it off, or it would have been second and third. So it was good hustle. It's just that you have to go into that base and make sure you can grab it or stay on it some way, shape, or form.
No hit for Geyer. They've charged Gallo with an error at third.
I can agree with that.
And Brandon goes to second on the throw to third base to erase Ramirez. So 2 down in the inning, and Yandy Diaz the batter. And a called strike. Diaz, he did not like the called third strike that he was rung up on in the 4th inning, and now he'll take a stroll after letting Mark Wagner. He didn't think too kindly of that call.
Check it out on a Nissan pitch tracker. Might have been a little low, but it had plate.
Right back at him. And after knocking it down, Perez throws him out. So once again, the Indians get some traffic, but can't cash in here in the 6th. They maintain a 1-run lead.
Rewards, and today's Strive Rewards code is Roberto. I have a feeling he'll be in that starting lineup tomorrow. You can visit Indians.com for complete details.
Indians just signed him to a 4-year contract extension.
I know it. They're giving everybody. We're waiting in line. We're going next.
Could be a while
Mr.
for you and
Dolan.
me.
Yeah, we're gonna make a call.
Nomar Mazara will lead off the bottom of the 6th for Texas. He is 1 for 2 on the night. Carlos Carrasco. And what would figure to be his last inning of work.
Well, I'm thinking this is going to be his last hitter here. Tito told us before the game he'd be happy with 5. But he gets the first out. I think Napoli will be his last hitter. We'll see. He's got the left-hander. It looks like Boone Logan up in the bullpen.
First 3 inning, he needed 54 pitches. Last 2 1/3, he has really been efficient. Remember, in the 1st inning, he had a 1-2-3 inning.
Yeah.
Popped him up back out of play. In addition to the lefty Boone Logan, right-hander Brian Shaw getting loose for Cleveland. Indians trying to protect the 1-run lead here in the 6th inning. It's been a well-pitched game by both starters after they both had some rocky spots early. You know, you look at Martin Perez, it didn't look like he was going to survive the 3rd, but he got that double play ball to get out of it, and he's been on lockdown mode ever since. Carlos Carrasco had a little blip early. But he's retired the last 8 straight hitters. I just think, regardless of how this finishes out for Carrasco, Tito and Mickey have to be thrilled with what they've seen from him tonight. A, he's given them the kind of length they were looking for, and B, he's pitched pretty well for a guy who didn't pitch that well all spring.
Well, and he's had tough numbers here against the Rangers in his career. He hasn't pitched very well in this ballpark.
Swung out and missed.
And
He strikes him out. That's number 7.
The second baseman, Odor.
Boy, that pitch went down. You see Gomes looking to block it. He gets Napoli to swing, and out comes Tito to make the change. So you're right. Overall, a very good night for Carrasco here in a park that he's had a tough time with. He's still in line for the win.
9 in a row. As Carrasco departs, and the Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen has been made. It will be the left-hander Boone Logan coming on when we come back.
Grady Sizemore, Sandy Alomar.
It's great to see Grady in camp during spring training this year in Goodyear, working with a lot of the young outfielders. Carlos Carrasco and Mickey Callaway chatting it up as he finishes his night, retiring 9 in a row. Boone Logan, he worked last night, third of an inning.
And that's what they're looking for tonight. Give me 1/3 of an inning right here, please. We've got Shaw behind him. Brian Rua, the right-hander, is on deck.
Rougned Odor, 1 for 2 tonight. He had a single in the second inning, struck out in the third. Low and away, ball 1. One-oh pitch. Missed in off the dish. Almost went after it, but did not. Popped him sky high on the infield. Santana, Ramirez converge. Jose calls for it. The second baseman makes the catch. And the inning is over. We move to the 7th, and it's still Cleveland 3, Texas 2. The injury lawyers at Elk & Elk, proud partners of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. By the new 2017 Kia Optima. And by Echo Outdoor Power Equipment. Another beautiful night here in Arlington. And it's a 3-2 Indians lead. 7th inning. Texas goes to their bullpen now for the first time. Right-hander Jeremy Jeffress will come on. Former Milwaukee product, and he worked 59 games last year. Had a very solid workmanlike season. And he's got the bottom part of the Indians order. Right-handed hitters Yan Gomes, Austin Jackson, then the switch hitting Carlos Santana. Gomes walked and scored in the second, grounded out his last time up. And a fastball in there for strike 1.
Gomes drew a walk in his first at bat. It was a pretty big walk. He was down in the count 1-2 and took a close 3-2 pitch and ended up scoring a run back in the second inning when he was driven home by Carlos Santana for the 3rd run of the ball game.
Last year, Yan Gomes' season never seemed like it ever got started. And then right after the All-Star break, he had that awkward tumble on a close play at first base. He went down and was lost for almost the rest of the entire season. But he did come back late. Hit a home run on the final game of the season that helped the Indians beat the Royals and clinch home field advantage in the first round of the playoffs. And now he yanks one deep to left, but he's out in front of it foul.
Gomes likes the ball down. That was an off-speed pitch, but he had a nice swing on it, just a little bit out in front of the 80-mile-an-hour pitch.
The 0-2. You know, it's almost like, Arch, there's some kind of a balancing act successful major leaguers have. You don't want a guy who doesn't care, but you also don't want a guy who cares too much that he like tenses up. And I think Jan, the last couple of years, it's almost he's been a detriment to himself because he's tried too hard.
Well, yeah, that's what they say. You know what? Don't try 100%. Try about 80% sometimes, and you know it makes you relax a little bit more. You have to, you know how they tell pitchers to trust their stuff. As a hitter, believe what you say. You're going to get to the ball. You try and get out early. You don't want to get jammed. You're trying to hit. He wasn't patient enough last year because you try to make up for everything in one at bat or in one game when it's really it takes a long time to get back into the swing of things, especially when you miss some time.
Well, I think back to one of my trips to your great fantasy camp with the Indians, and I don't remember if it was Rick Waits or somebody was talking to the pitcher saying, hold the baseball like an egg, because if you squeeze it, you're going to tense up your forearm. You're not going to be able to just
throw it where you want to.
Right.
Yeah.
So sometimes, you know, as a hitter, I'm sure you've had coaches tell you stop squeezing the bat so hard.
You want to do it. I mean, you have to learn that. When you're hitting and when hits are falling, you're free and easy. You don't worry about it. When you're not, look at, see, right now he's upset because he wanted to put that ball in play.
Good fastball, though, ran it in on him. This was a good pitch by Jeffers.
Yeah, it ties him up. And that would have been a strike anyway if he did take it. It just, sometimes they're going to make good pitches. When they make them, they're going to get you out.
And here's the veteran Austin Jackson, who drove in a run his first time up, lined out his last time up. Slider low and away. Austin Jackson making his Indians debut. Boy, for so many years we watched him in Detroit against the Indians. Spectacular center fielder. And when he's in a good groove offensively, he did some damage. Last year was a difficult one for him because he had the knee injury, and it took a lot longer for that knee injury to heal for him, but he came to camp, ended up winning a spot on this club.
That's the place to pitch Austin Jackson, inside. He likes the ball out over where he can shoot it the other way and stay on the baseball. You'll see a lot of teams crowding him with hard stuff to make him use those hands and try to pull the ball. Let's go in. There it is. Let's get the fastball in there.
Slowly pulled toward third. Charging Gallo flips it. Came off the bag. Napoli had to make sure he caught the ball, and in doing so, Austin Jackson is safe at first with one out. Really a good effort on both ends.
Well, he got off to the jump out of the batter's box, and Gallo's a big guy. He's 6'5", but you can see the throw pulls Napoli off, and he beats it out. It will be a base hit. He did everything in his power to try and make it. He fields it with his glove, and everything just has to be perfect on that play, but that's an awful big guy to make a play like that.
Almost look, Arch, like Gallo, he had one slight bobble trying to get the good grip on the ball, and that maybe cost him.
Well, you go into that glove, and you know, everything's done, it has to be done so quickly. So that infield single will take Jeffers out of the ball game.
We've got a timeout here in Texas. The Rangers go back to their bullpen. Dario Alvarez coming on when we come back. On a man out here in the top of the seventh. Carlos Santana's coming up with more on that. Let's go down to Andre Knott.
Well, every year is different, guys, as we all know. Carlos Santana last year did not hit a home run right-handed until June 12th out in Anaheim versus the Angels. Now, he's already done that this year, obviously, as he led the game off tonight with the home run. But just an interesting choice that they would go to Alvarez and put him back on the right-hand side after the success he's had earlier tonight.
Yeah, they probably go over the numbers over the last 2 or 3 years from that side of the plate. And even though he has a couple of hits tonight, they're going to take their chances that he's better from the left side than he is from the right. But let's hope that's a trend that's going to change this year from this side of the dish.
Dario Alvarez, one of 2 left-handers in the Rangers bullpen. Keeping a close eye on Austin Jackson, who in his younger days could really run well. Not that he can't still steal you a base, but going to be a lot tougher with a left-hander on the mound.
First time he's ever made the major league roster on opening day. He's been in this organization 4 years and looking for his first April or May action of his career, and he's getting it right now, facing Carlos Santana.
First full season in the majors for Austin Jackson was back in 2010. Stole 27 bases that year for Detroit. It's his career high. Carlos Santana takes a strike. And of course, when you think about it, for many years in Detroit, you don't steal a lot of bases with the lineup they have.
No, that's a lineup that they're hitters. They don't run. The speed there they do not have.
But what a rookie year he had.
Yeah. 72%. But right here, you let Santana swing.
Caught him in between. Did he go? He did not. That's one of those, you just flip a coin. He started after it, but
well, it's just a little high out of the strike zone. He thought about it. They wanted the call.
One and one with Jackson at first. The Indians up a run here in the 7th. And that's called a strike. Chop foul, third base side, and we'll come back, do it again. A flurry of early activity in this one, but since the 3rd inning started, it has been zeros across for both teams.
There's only been 3 hits by both teams from the 3rd inning on. 1 by the Indians and 2 by the Rangers, and they both came in the 3rd. Yes.
He did not go.
I'll tell you, he's crowding him in there with that breaking ball. He's trying to get him to chase after it. There's another close one.
Marty Foster, the first base umpire, said he did not go.
Well, you get a look at the side angle from where we sit. We're up high here, and he held up. That the barrel head of that bat did not get out in front and break the plane of that home plate. It's a different look from back here. It's sitting much higher. With all the body movement, you think it looks like it.
2-2.
But again, here's Santana down in the count, and he works it to a 3-2 count.
I just don't know when you became such an advocate for the pitcher. I don't think I've ever heard you up here say, no, he didn't go. You're always saying, yes, yes, yes.
Well, when you get to see it again, there's times when I first look at it, you think he goes. I think my eyesight's going.
I think it's because you think you're back in the opposing dugout and you're always going, yeah, he went. Of course he went. Santana jerks one deep, but foul.
Well, when you're a hitter, you never think you go. And when you're a pitcher, you always think they go. So.
String is out. Only one out, though. Jackson holding at first. Santana checking. It's low.
Good at bat by Carlos. He worked that walk to move a guy into scoring position, and really some close pitches, but he does his job.
And it will bring up Francisco Lindor. Lindor 0 for 2 tonight. He walked. He was caught stealing ultimately in that first inning. Initially he was called safe, with a replay review by one video frame, he came off the bag. That's how
1/30th of a second.
1/30th of a second. And,
crazy.
The Rangers won that replay challenge. He was called out.
The Indians have had 2 guys come off the base tonight. Ramirez did at third base too, trying to go from second to third. He came off the base as originally he was safe.
This was, if you missed it earlier, this was what overturned the call. His finger is just barely off the base as he slides forward, and before his toe gets there.
Yeah.
I mean, that was it.
A matter of 3 frames. One back, his fingers on it, and his toes off. Oh, boy. I don't know if you could get a better shot than that. We can't. That's almost perfect. And the human eye certainly is not going to see anything like that. That's why he's called safe for it. That's why for them to overturn it, it surprised me.
Lindor trying to inflict some damage here in the 7th. Low, and it's 2-0.
Well, last time Frankie was up, he had a nice line drive to right field. I'd like to see him try and go that way again into right center and stay on the baseball. They're throwing him down and away and missed the first 2 pitches. Anything he's going to spin on the inside, just take it. And now Odor calls timeout.
And he pulls it foul through the third base coaching box. And the count is 2-1. Rangers keeping that bullpen busy. Jose Leclerc, the right-hander. He'd be on to face Encarnacion, I would imagine, unless, yeah, you're going to keep the left-hander on to face Brantley, who's in the on-deck circle. Chased one a little up and away. 2-2.
A Nissan pitch tracker with a fastball up above the belt. Got him to chase it. Got him to expand that zone.
Two on, 1 out, 2-2 pitch. Struck him out. Second strikeout of the inning for Texas pitching.
Good breaking ball in a spot where the right-hander thinks it's there, and then a back foot slider gets him committed, can't hold up, gets the strikeout. So now Texas has 5 strikeouts as a staff, and they've given up 5 walks to the Indians. 6 walks.
6 strikeouts.
Okay, one of those.
Yeah, because Perez struck out 4.
Right.
Jeffers won.
I didn't have Jeffers. Thank you.
Alvarez won, and now it's up to Brantley to try to scratch out another run here for the Indians.
Had a 2-out base hit last night in the 9th inning to drive a run home.
He'll get me over breaking ball to start him out.
That's okay, because as a pitcher, you know, Brantley isn't a guy that goes up there. Most of the time he's a patient hitter. He'll take a look, see where you're throwing that arm angle, where it's coming out of. He'll get a good look at you. He's not interested in swinging at that first pitch unless he has a track record on you. And he's telling himself to just stay back. He was upset with himself the last time up when he ended up striking out on a pitch. But there's a take on a good breaking ball away. That was close.
Did he tell himself right there to stay back because he felt that front hip opening up?
Yeah, and that back foot. Just stay back on it. Don't get out front.
And he shoots one through the left side.
Talking about
Austin Jackson races home, and the Indians lead is 4-2 as Brantley delivers with another 2-out RBI single.
Can you do it any better than that? That's what he was telling himself, to stay back on that back leg and don't worry. Trust yourself with those hands and let it go. It's just like he served it, you know, into that hole to left field. Look at him, stay back and just turn on it. That front foot stayed planted. He gets his hands through the hitting area and bingo. Just serves it through that hole. What a great job of hitting. That's an insurance run there. Michael Brantley coming through again with 2 outs.
It's a great job of listening to yourself.
Yes, it is.
You got a timeout for another pitching change. 4-2 Cleveland. Well, the Indians have expanded their lead to 4-2 on the 2-out RBI single by Michael Brantley. Indians still have 2 on with 2 out, and the new pitcher is right-hander Jose Leclerc. He pitched briefly last year, and he'll be on to face Edwin Encarnacion.
First run scored by both teams since that 2nd inning.
Encarnacion towering pop to left, but he got under it, and Rule will make the catch to end the inning. Michael Brantley, though, delivers with a big RBI single to open up a 4-2 Indians advantage. Stretch time in Arlington. Let's go back to their bullpen. Boone Logan worked 1/3 of a scoreless inning to end the 6th. And now it's Brian Shaw's season debut here in the 7th inning. Shaw, 75 more appearances a year ago. This guy has just been a machine coming out of that Indians bullpen. 75 appearances last year, 74 the year before that, 80 the season before that, and 70 in his first season with the Indians. And oh, by the way, the year before that, 64 appearances out of the Arizona bullpen.
Well, this guy, he gets mad when he doesn't have a chance to get into the game. He comes and expects to get in every day and loves the work.
He does not shy away from it.
No, he doesn't. That's one reason why you have to love him as a manager. I mean, there comes points and times throughout the course of a season where sometimes it's hard to find somebody to pitch. This guy will always raise his hand.
These guys in that bullpen, and I'm sure it's the same wherever you go throughout baseball. Bullpens are a little close-knit fraternity to themselves.
Right.
But
unique.
I only know these guys, and they pick each other up to the point where, as Shaw delivers a called strike, they want to pitch. No guy shows up and says, I can't go today. Even if their arm's dragging on the ground, if Mickey goes up to him and says, how you feel, I'll
get you a
today.
hitter.
Yeah.
The worst they'll say is, I'll get you a hitter.
The 1-2. Just threw the bat at it to try and stay alive.
Perfect.
But Jose Ramirez will have an easy play, 1 down. That's why, Arch, Mickey and Tito, and also Jason Beret, they are the ones that make the decision. All right, we're going to stay away from so-and-so today. They don't let the player tell them.
Right.
They tell them, look, you're down today. We're going to stay away from you because, you know, you have to keep these guys for the long haul. It's 6 months.
They have their thumb on the pulse. They know when the guy needs a day off. No one should have to tell them. But they know if they ask them, they'll say, okay, I can give you a little bit.
And, you know, I've talked to Brian. I've talked to Cody, Dan Otero. And these guys will all tell you. You look at the numbers as Gallo, that didn't feel good.
No.
They'll say, okay, you look at the numbers, 70 appearances, 80 appearances. Man, that's a lot of work. But they'll tell you, yeah, but Tito uses us to the point where it might look like a lot, but it's never a lot at one time to where it does damage or sets you back. It may be you're only in for a hitter one day.
Yeah.
You know, if you've worked a couple of days in a row.
But what they do, when they get you up, they bring you in. They don't get you up and set you down and get you back up again. If you're up for the most part, you're going to be in a ball game. I mean, they take pride in that. They hate to get you up if they're not going to use you.
Gallo broke his bat. It's going to drop for a hit.
After he broke his leg. Fouling that ball off the, looked like part of the knee or the upper calf area. Ends up fighting it off and gets a base hit.
And now the Rangers will bring the tying run to the plate in the form of Elvis Andrus, who walked in the second and popped up in the fourth. Brian Shaw. Against a very dangerous Texas hitter who has always seemed to have his big games against the Tribe. But here, Shaw gets him to bounce into a double play to end the inning. Brian Shaw with another stellar performance. Lindor to Ramirez. We go to the 8th. Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. (4-2) Indians, 8th inning now here in Arlington. Jose Ramirez, Brandon Guyer, and Yandy Diaz due up, but it looks like Abraham Almonte has moved to the on-deck circle to bat for Guyer. Jose Leclerc, right-hander, came on and got Encarnacion to fly out to end the 7th inning. Leclerc has a good fastball. That one in there at 96 miles an hour. Ramirez jolts one fairly deep to center. Back is Gomez onto the warning track. One away.
Well, Indians Youth Baseball Summer Camps presented by Cleveland Clinic's Children's offer Major League instruction to baseball players in Northeast Ohio. You want to sign up today and let the professionals teach you, your child, the Indians' way to play. Visit Indians.com for more details.
Abraham Almonte will pinch hit for Brandon Guyer, who was 1 for 3 with a run scored tonight. Almonte was terrific at the dish in the season opener. He walked twice last night. He had a base hit. He drove in a run. He scored 2, and he stole a base. Outside, ball 1. Good fastball, and that's what he uses most of the time. Last year he was primarily 4-seam fastball. He'll sink it.
Well, you have a little room for error when you're throwing in the mid-90s. It's tough to center on a 95, 96 mile an hour fastball if you can move it inside and outside and locate it. Changeup. I didn't realize he has that many pitches. Holy smokes. He's got to take off his catcher's glove and put down number 7, 8.
Well, he's got a fastball, curveball, a changeup, and a splitter.
Well, and he called for every one of them.
But mostly we've seen fastballs. And there's another one.
Yeah, and in that case, it was just a matter of a fastball. He wanted a different location.
You know, he was a starter, you know, up until, I think he was even starting last year in the minor leagues.
You know, if he was and you extend it out, these guys, if they come out of that bullpen, you wouldn't be surprised if his velocity can go up. And there's the good slider right there, and he gets the strikeout. After throwing about 3 or 4 fastballs in a row. Throws it to the inside part of the plate, runs it in on the hands, and just you can see how it ties up Almonte.
And that's one of those pitches, Arch, where that might have been a breaking ball, but he's a little bit like Danny Salazar in that he has a weird grip on his changeup and it doesn't fade. It actually breaks sharply the other way. So sometimes it's hard to tell.
All depends on how they're gripping the baseball, I guess.
Sky high pop. Yandy Diaz sends one. Foul ground. Napoli. 1, 2, 3 go the Indians. We move to the bottom of the 8th. It's Miller time and Texas with the Indians up 2. On for the second game in as many days to start the year. 14 pitches is all it took for Miller to retire the side last night, striking out a pair. Abraham Almonte stays in the game in right field. And Michael Martinez has now taken over for Yandy Diaz at third base. Robinson Chirinos, 0 for 2, has struck out twice, will lead off for Texas. Then Carlos Gomez. So back-to-back right-handed hitters, then the left-handed hitting Shin-Soo Choo due up third. Terry Francona last October really changed, perhaps forever, the way postseason games will be played, in the way that managers use their bullpen and try to manipulate the game. But Terry was quick to point out to people who asked him all off season long, I am not going to try and manage during the regular season the same way I did in October. He said, number one, Andrew Miller, Cody Allen, Bright Shaw, these guys wouldn't make it through a season if I tried to manage like that.
Well, you go into every postseason and starters don't go the distance that they normally do because it turns into, it's a short series and every pitch is magnified. But what a job he did in that postseason. And the reason is because of this guy, and not only this guy, it's because of Cody Allen, who can slam the door on the last 3 outs of the ball game, who was perfect. but a couple of valuable weapons to have. And I mean, the people we go around, we talk to, they say, boy, I'd love to have your bullpen. Well, we do love to have it because we get to see it a lot. You know, you get that lead in a ball game and you can just slam the door. If you can do that most of the time, it makes it a lot of fun. That's going to fall, isn't it?
Racing out, Ramirez with a terrific play. Jose simply outran the baseball. I don't know how he got to it. It didn't look initially like he was going to be able to get there, but indeed he did. Just snared it in the webbing of his glove.
Boy, I'd like to see how far he had to go and catch that one, and he did. You said it. He outran the baseball with the little glove, and he just threw his hand out there, and it ended up catching it. I mean, he had to run out there. I would have to say between 80 and 90 feet to catch the baseball, and he does just that, and that is a big out. Because any runner that reaches base, tying run comes to the plate.
Shin-Soo Choo taking a breaking ball for a strike. That was a dynamite play by a guy who has been a dynamo of a player. Choo bloops one toward left. Brantley coming in. He makes a running catch. And Andrew Miller, for the second time in as many nights, works a 1-2-3 inning thanks to some fine defensive work from Jose Ramirez. Andre. Andre would have outrun the boomstick every time. I thought you were going to ask us if we put that boomstick under glass, how long it would take before it would actually decompose. Maybe never.
Right, that thing was a monster.
Yan Gomes walked and scored in the second. He has grounded out, struck out since then. And Jose Leclerc misses down and away. Swing and a miss. This is a young guy. He's only 23 years old. Signed out of the Dominican Republic. But a guy who, you know, he was pitching well as a starter. But somebody said, hey, why don't we put this guy in the bullpen here in the big leagues and see what happens?
Well, you can see why.
Got a live arm.
And it's not to say that he could never go back and start again. But it's like we talk about it, everybody starts out as a starting pitcher for the most part as they work their way up to the big leagues. And then they figure out, well, is this stuff good enough to try and get us 21 outs, or can we use him in the bullpen to get us 3, 4?
Now the 2-2. I know the questions that surrounded Jose Leclerc for Texas as recently as last year were, he's not a big guy, so at 6 foot he has to generate a lot of momentum with his delivery,
right.
And he just gets a little out of whack. So that it was the consistency. Can he repeat his delivery and consistently throw strikes? And I think everybody always wonders durability wise.
Right. Can he break
throws
down
that hard?
Not that big.
He's retired all 4 that he has faced since coming into the game. Gomes fouls one back. He hung one. Gomes bangs it down the line, but he hooks it foul. Indians got a leadoff home run tonight from Carlos Santana to start the game. Then they used back-to-back 2-out RBI singles in the second to take a 3-0 lead. Texas quickly countered with a 2-run homer. It stayed that way until the 7th, when Michael Brantley delivered a 2-out RBI hit to make it 4-2.
Yeah, 3 of the 4 runs they've scored have come with 2 outs.
That one gets away, a full count. There's a fly ball deep left. Will that stay fair? It is foul, I guess, by inches. Mike Winters, the crew chief, down the third base line, pointing toward the seats. Will the Indians take a look on replay? I don't know.
I think that was above the pole, too, so that was tough to tell. From our angle, let's see. Let's see if it goes in front of the pole, over the pole.
Yep.
It's in front of the pole. Terry wants to go out and have him check it out anyway. But it was just at the top part of that pole, and it looked like it was a foul ball from our angle. They'll take a look at it.
Now this is where a manager can just ask the umpires to take a look. He doesn't have to use a challenge. Anything that's a disputed home run or that's close, it's up to the umpires. Now they can tell him, no, I clearly saw it foul. But Mike Winters saying, oh, okay, I'll take another look. But it would appear that that ball went.
Yeah, there it is. It's right
in
there.
front
You see
of
it
the
on
foul
the pole
ball
right now. So that's a foul ball. I think, I mean, it was close. But you know what? You have them take a look. You never know.
Well, hey, kudos. They didn't take a long time. They quickly saw it, said foul. All right, let's move on. So the crew chief review confirms the foul ball. And now the 2-2. Tied him up with a good fastball. Second strikeout for Leclerc. Let's look back at our storylines tonight, brought to you by Mazda. The Encarnacion effect. Well, Texas has held them in check so far, 0 for 3 with a walk. And Carrasco, you know, look, Carlos, he had, he gave up the 2-run homer to Joey Gallo. And he had a couple of base runners on back-to-back hits in the third. But, I mean, I thought he pitched really well tonight.
He did. For a couple of nice plays early in the game by
for where
Brandon
he was
Guyer.
coming into this game.
Yeah.
Austin Jackson takes a strike.
Well, going into the game, Tito expected 5 innings or 80, 85 pitches, somewhere around there. He gave you 5 2/3, more than expected. And he retired his last 9 batters, so he ended on a very good note.
Jackson lays off. Austin Jackson in his Indians debut has 2 hits, an RBI, and a run scored. Good. That looked like a slider. Take a look, see if you can tell.
Well, he hits the target.
Yeah.
It just starts out there, and that's truly a slider right
looked
there.
like it had some tight spin.
It was tight. It was late breaking, and that is a slider. A lot of times we call that slider, and a lot of pitchers throw slurves. It's got more tilt to it.
Tried to throw that one through the backstop.
Yes, he did. Humped up on that one, and arm couldn't catch up to him.
We are in the 9th in Arlington. Indians up 2. Slider in the dirt, and Leclerc gets another strikeout. 2 down. Arch, what you see that was good from Carrasco tonight?
Well, I loved his changeup to the left-handed hitters and his slider. That's his strikeout pitch. When you go to the right-handers, that was a changeup 3-2. He got Gallo on a 3-2 changeup, but then the slider was right there, and it was on a nasty spot to the right-handers. And that is his strikeout pitch. He went, what, 21 in a row last year where he had at least 5 strikeouts. And that was only second to Bob Feller, who did it 28 consecutive games, 5 or more.
Jose Leclerc.
Nice job.
Faced 6 batters, retired all 6, struck out 3 the last 2 in a row. But with 2 down and nobody on base, Jeff Bannister wants a left-hander. And we'll be right back. Ninth inning, 2 down, bases empty. Carlos Santana with the batter, and left-hander Alex Claudio.
Again, he goes out to get that left-hander for Santana. Did that with Alvarez as well. Carlos been on 3 out of the 4 times. A couple of hits, a couple of ribbies. He walked once.
Claudio, 25 years old, a former 27th round pick 7 years ago.
Again, like they did in the first inning with the starter that they had, Perez. You got 3 guys on the 3 infielders on the left side of that infield. They couldn't do it the second time because they had runners at first and second base, and Santana hit the ball right where Odor is now, which is right up the middle.
Over the outside corner, it's 2-1. Slow chopper. Gallo flips it. The Indians go in order. And now we go to the bottom of the ninth. Cody Allen will try to save the second game of the season when we return. Cody Allen struck out 3 Texas Rangers batters. He did give up 1 hit. It was a triple to Elvis Andrus, but he was working with an 8-5 lead, and the Rangers were no match for him. Tonight, he's working with a 2-run advantage, but he'll have to go through the heart of the order. It'll be Nomar Mazara, Mike Napoli, and Rougned Odor for Texas.
Well, as you can see, the bullpen, first 2 games of this series, just 3 hits in their 5 and a third innings. No walks, 6 strikeouts. 15 of the 18 hitters they have faced, they have retired, and that's what we're used to seeing from this pen. But every day is different. As you mentioned, he's going through the heart of the lineup, 3, 4, 5.
Up high with a fastball. You know, we talked about it a bit last night. His curveball, when he's got the fastball and he can throw his curveball for a strike, it's virtually
lethal.
Tough, impossible for a hitter. But his curveball is a little bit different. He's got that spike curve, so it really is a feel pitch. And when he's got a good feel for it, as I said, it just very difficult for the hitters, and there's a good reason why. You're looking for the fastball, and that thing comes flipping up there, and you just freeze.
Sometimes it has so much break to it. This one was a nice, tight, firm one. There it was right there. You know, not a lot of, I mean, where you see it diving right down through the strike zone where he has a tough time controlling it.
High fastball hit fair. And Mazzara will head to second base, standing with a double. Boy, that was a nice piece of hitting by Mazzara. Pitch was up, but it was away, and he just slapped it by Michael Martinez at third.
It was a fastball, and they're playing him over off the line, and I mean, it was elevated. But you know, look at the hitters. He didn't try to pull it. That wasn't even a strike. That was up out of the strike zone, and he just slapped it. You can see where Martinez is off the bag at third base. Automatic double going down the line. So now the tying run comes to the plate for the Rangers.
And it's Mike Napoli. Napoli 0 for 2. Throw a fastball by him. Now I know this isn't October, but remember last year in the playoffs, there is no more high pressure situation than that. And how many times did Cody Allen have to pitch in a situation where he had traffic, where he had to deal with base runners, and he still never gave in? And I wonder what that experience does for him now, having been through that. Breaking ball swung out and missed. It's 0-2.
Well, pitchers go out there, they stay within their game. Look, they got to go at the hitter. They have to stay aggressive. You know, if they get their base hits, there's nothing you can do about it. You still have the lead, and you stay aggressive. Hopefully you don't give up anything. You know, you don't give in. Make them earn what they get. Right there, Mazzara hit a pitch out of the strike zone. He hit a double. You can't do much about that.
Fastball belted. Deep center. Back is Jackson. Can't make the play. One run will score. And the tying run pulls into second as Mike Napoli delivers an RBI double.
Well, that's the best ball Napoli has hit in the series, and you're going to see that this pitch is down a little bit. And he likes the ball down more so than up. He's got that zone you can pitch to upstairs, and it looks like Cody got this fastball down, and then he smokes that one. It stays in the ballpark. It goes off the wall. So back-to-back doubles have the Rangers within one. Still nobody out. Jackson tried to get there. Got a pinch runner coming out at second base. Delano DeShields will be the pinch runner.
Rougned Odor, the batter. He's 1 for 3 on the night. He is the winning run. Nobody out. Breaking ball swung out and missed.
We talked about this Texas team last year winning 36 one-run games. They had the best record, 36-11. And there's no quit. They're a very good come-from-behind team. They played very well at home, winning 53 games last year.
A franchise record 8 wins last year when trailing after 8 innings. Another curveball, this one up in the strike zone, right over the heart of the plate. Threw that hard, tight breaking ball down and in, out of the zone. He swung over the top. He gives up on this one, and it just floats in. And now Odor hasn't seen a fastball, but he's down 0-2. Pulls it foul.
And you would think, too, that the pitch, that's his swing and miss pitch, or his out pitch is that curveball. If Odor should be able to hit it, he should pull it if he does hit it. And that's what he's looking to do. At least if you're going to make it out, he's trying to drive him in. But if you make it out, trying to get him to third base, because that is the tying run.
Ryan Rule, right-handed bat, waits on deck. Joey Gallo would follow. High fastball, and it's a ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, take him off, take the eye level out of there off that curveball to see if he would chase the fastball up out of the zone. He did not. See if he just comes back with his curveball again.
Odor calling for time. Tying run to Shields at second base. And a bouncer foul again. Tense moments here in game number 2. The 1-2 delivery. Hit deep but fouled on the right side.
Well, he's seen both the fastball and the breaking ball. This one upstairs. He's lucky he got away with that one.
A long at bat. This will be the 14th pitch. I'm sorry, a long inning already for Allen, but a long at bat for Odor, who, he was buried in the count, but he has fought off pitch after pitch to stay alive now. And now it's even at 2-2.
Yeah, just the show pitches. It's the 2 fastballs that he's showing him. He's not throwing for strikes. He's trying to get him out with his curveball.
Half the pitches he's thrown in the inning have come in this at bat already. So Odor has had a good look.
Bounce one.
Blew it by him.
He went right back there. He showed him 2 heaters up and then threw that one right by him. Boy, that pitch, he said, let's go, man. That took some guts. He throws a fastball and he throws it by him. Good for him. Well, they're trying to elevate and hit it out of here, but swings and misses. So they finally get the first out. It looks like we're going to get a pinch hitter.
Jurickson Profar will bat for Ryan Rua.
Ladies and gentlemen, your history is Gold Ranger number 19, Jurickson Profar. Pitching for Ryan Rua.
Profar is a switch hit. And he'll bat left-handed against Cody Allen. The tying run is at second base. Winning run obviously at the plate for Texas. High fastball and he swings through it. 23,574. Just a little more, or I should say just a little less than half of what we had last night. Fastball ran away, 1-1. Mike Napoli delivering a big RBI double to pull Texas within a run here in the 9th. Profar hit the top of that breaking ball and fouled off.
So you get up there, you're looking for that fastball. Next thing you know, you see his curveball start up there, but then it doesn't finish there, man. It starts going down, so you want to pull the trigger on it. That's why you swing at the high fastball, but then that's where his curveball's starting out at too, right where he lets that fastball go.
Now the 1-2 pitch. And when we talked to Cody in spring training and he talked us through his pitch grips, that's one of the things that he talks about is that he wants his curveball to come out and his fastball to come out from the same arm slot.
Right.
So it looks coming out of his hand like the same pitch.
Exactly. And as a hitter, you don't have much time to really make that decision. By the time you see it spinning, that's when you can chase that pitch. That's a beauty right there. You talk about a dandy curveball. He got him last night swinging at the high fastball like he did on the first pitch, but comes back tonight and locks him up with a good curveball. Look at that. Gives up on an outside edge at the knees. Well done. So he's 1 out away from getting himself and the Indians out of a big jam.
Joey Gallo, he launched a mammoth 2-run homer back in the second inning. Rangers only runs until the 9th. And he chases the high fastball. Couldn't catch up to that 95-mile-an-hour
him up there. Gallo likes that ball down a little bit more where he's got that little uppercut. Big kid here. He may be a little anxious up there.
Good block by
baby.
Gomes.
Yes, it was. I'll tell you, the guy on deck, you don't want to face him. You want to get this out. Gallo, I know he's a left-handed hitter, but there you go. He tried to throw a dandy, a curveball to get him to swing, and he just threw that one about 55 feet.
But to your point, Gallo is a guy who primarily wants to do one thing, hit one as far as the eye can see.
Well, you would think so, and you know he does. I mean, that's his nature. He swings and misses a lot, but the guy on deck is 6 for 7 in his career against Allen. Hit the triple off
overall hitter.
Yes, he is. So I want to see him get this guy.
Cody blows a fastball right down the heart of the plate. And it's 1-2.
Probably 1 or 2 ways to go. He can elevate the fastball again as they're moving Martinez off the line at third base. Or he can go down with a good curveball, see if he'll get him to chase him.
Here's the 1-2. In the dirt, and he's able to lay off the count back to even.
Combs doing a nice job of keeping everything in front. Those balls in the dirt.
Game on the line here with 2 out in the 9th. Indians clinging to a 1-run lead. Tying run at second. A 2-ball, 2-strike count to Joey Gallo. Cody Allen ready, he deals. Nice. Swung out and missed. He struck him out to end the game. Cody Allen, nerves of steel, gives up back-to-back doubles to start the frame and then punches out 3 straight to save the day. And the Indians start the season now 2-0.
Boy, I'll tell you what, you talk about some guts. He throws the fastball to strike out Odor to get that first out of the inning, which was so big. Comes up and got the pinch hitter Profar, and boy, you want to talk about the little nerves going on in the dugout there. He comes right back though and strikes out the side. So Cody, I'll tell you what a terrific job to come back. Mazzara does a nice job hitting a fastball up out of the zone for a double down to third baseline. They were playing him off the line, and then Napoli gets a fastball down into his house, but he keeps it in the ballpark, so they score a run, nobody out, runner on second base. Cody Allen. Then he goes to the back pocket, says, I need everything I've got here. Strikes him out on a great fastball. That's a guy that's scary right there. A tremendous curveball to Profar, the pinch hitter, then elevates the fastball to Gallo to strike out the 3. And